grade 11 and 12, like you've got school and you do have to focus, but you need to try and you need to do and you need to, because that's how you know. So like if you've got a creative itch and you want to, you always find your middle ground. Put your priorities where they need to be and stick to them. But there's 24 hours in a day, and if you look at the amount of time you're spending on like social media, like there's many things that you could actually cut.
Hello and welcome again to another episode of the Brown Fox podcast. This is episode number 4. And once again, we have some guests with us. One of them might be slightly familiar to you.
What? No way.
Oh,
I've never been on this podcast ever.
This time on the other side of the table, it's our very own Nathan Hutcheon,
Interesting.
video production assistant.
It's fun to be here. It's great.
And who is this lovely lad?
'Tis I. How you doing?
What's your name?
I am Jesse Harp.
Nice to meet you,
It's
Jesse.
good to meet you too, Mr. Babadilla.
Oh, yeah.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Hutcheon.
We've known each other for quite a while. He's my
I have
brother-in-law.
known him longer than you. I knew him since I was like grade 1. So
Yeah, we were in the same class together.
Yeah,
That's
actually-
true.
Even
crazy.
though I was in grade 2 and you were grade 1, it was a conjoined class.
Yeah, combined.
Great.
My
Taught
mum
by your mum.
Taught by mum. Yeah, your.
It's a small world. Yeah, my mother-in-law.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
This is amazing.
This is beautiful.
It's
What a
like a
beautiful trio.
reuniting of all these in intersection. Anyway,
That's crazy.
yeah. But now we're all here sitting in a table in Brisbane, around a table, and going to have some awesome chats.
We are, indeed.
But before we get into them, I believe you have something to share, Nathan.
I do. How do you get a tissue to dance?
I know this one.
I don't know this one.
You put a little boogie under it.
Well, you give it a little boogie. Well, yeah.
Oh, the response is just great every single time.
Right, that was the dad joke section.
Oh, thank
We need
you.
like a little graphic intro or something like
Yeah,
that.
and a what do you call it? Drum roll, like a soundboard with a drum roll.
Dad joke segment.
So,
Lead into it.
thanks, Nathan.
No worries. Thank you.
So now that we've probably lost half our viewership,
Stay, please.
no, that's a nice way to ease us into our actual chat today. So the reason that I've got you guys in front of me here is because, well, one of you, Nathan, has recently finished high school
Yeah.
as of last year, year 12.
Indeed.
So you're out in the big world, big real world.
Oh, you know, living life, living large.
And Jesse over here is on the verge of finishing year 12. Am I right?
You are not wrong. I am keen.
Now, I could have gotten any assortment of year 12 and recently graduated students to join me here today, but you guys are both have a lot of commonality between each other, and we all share a lot of creative commonality. And I think that you guys have something valuable to share, even if to inspire people who are either finishing school or whether you've been out of school for 20 years, just to hear some new and fresh perspective as to how you guys have been involved in creativity over your, it's experience. I don't want to say short experience, it's experience. You guys have lived and done a lot of amazing stuff in the creative field, and I want to dive into that today. You guys happy to share a little bit?
Keen as me.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, I know that both of you, even throughout high school, have been really, really involved in making videos or in music, whatever the artistic field is, So, how did you manage to balance this school, this school journey, especially coming to the end of year 12 where things get really busy, even before then, and yet be able to express yourselves creatively, to be able to, explore that before even finishing? Like, what did that look like?
Yeah, I think it was, especially towards the later years, I think with what I was doing, like on my YouTube channel and things like that, I kind of tape it off and obviously try to prioritize doing your studies and getting the best marks and things like that possible. I think I was pretty fortunate in my last years to really enjoy those last years and those last courses like music, drama, and art. Really enjoyed being able to throw myself creatively into those. So I feel as though I kind of was like, oh, okay, I'll kind of put more of the do more on the creative side in school, just as far as presenting work as my assessments, and kind of going that way, because I think it was something like I'll backtrack a bit, but when I first got into video, when in school, when I was probably what was it, grade 9, grade 10, and things like that. It's like I was just every single like opportunity possible. I'm just like, oh yeah, just gonna go out and film with my mates, and we're going to the beach. Cool, I'll bring my camera and make a video and just practice and produce, because like I just wanted to make videos. I didn't know what. I didn't really have necessarily like this long. Okay, this is how you start a business. Like I didn't know any of that, but I wanted to like make stuff, and I like produced like a whole lot of things, like a lot. And as I kind of grew up, I was like, I'm still growing, but
as I matured,
as I got into the later years of school, I tried to prioritize school a bit more. I had like just leadership roles at school and things like that. And I found I just like, it's like, I don't really care about YouTube anymore. It's like, I don't really mind if like I don't upload there. It doesn't mean as much. Like what is school and what was that for that time was like, that was what it was important to me.
So it shifted a little bit.
Yeah, it shifted a little bit in that time, because I feel as though I wanted to dedicate myself to finish that up to the best of my ability.
It sounds, and I think Jesse would be the same. You guys share this excellence in what you do, regardless of what you're doing. Even if it's something that you don't particularly enjoy, you'll still give it. I think that's an admirable characteristic of both of you. I think, Jess, like you said, you did leadership things as well, and same with yourself. What does it look like for you balancing this whole school leadership, Year 12 results, QCS, everything else? I don't know. Give some insight.
Balancing is an act, and one which I am not very good at, but. It's a really good learning curve. So I think you could sort of ask a lot of people. I'm a big yes man. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then if you say yes to everything, like looking back in retrospect, which I've not even finished, so it's funny that I'm looking back in retrospect. But it's like when you say yes to something, you're saying no to another thing.
That's good.
So it's like there's lots of even. I've talked to you about this previously, but it's like you can only pour out so much. You can only put out so much. You only got so many hours
in your day. Yeah.
In your day. So on a balancing point of view, I wasn't, especially. So grade 11 was I just sort of did everything, and then grade 12, I'm also really fortunate that I could. I really was very deliberate in my creative endeavors. A lot of them I tried to gear them to school. So like I wanted to, like there was a young filmmakers competition for making a commercial. And so I went to my teacher, I'm like, what's our assessment? She's like, we got to make an ad. And so I'm like, I tried to line it up. And so that I could, I looked at similar criteria so I could make sure that I nailed the criteria for the competition, but I also have it for school. So it's like a double whammy type thing. But I also think double whammy.
No, it's two birds, one stone.
But if you're talking about like balancing, like you have to balance, but you also just have to just say yes. I'm still.
That's true. It's the balance, and I think as part of finding balance, you got to imbalance yourself a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Weight yourself. Like there's sacrifices, right? Like what sacrifices in school would you, or that time period of your life now, do you feel like you made in order to do the things that you wanted to try and do creatively?
I think I went through a bit of a shift academically. Like when I was in middle school, going up in early high school, it's like, I'm not academic. I can't do English and mathematics, these high level sort of stuff. It's like, I didn't do the highest math, it's math A, practical math. What's the surface area of your floor? But
it's about as practical as I got after university.
Exactly. Like I felt as though there was a shift, and I was like, okay, if I do want to have, just be able to be a good communicator in filmmaking or in anything as a person, it's like I got to invest in what schooling is. It is valuable. The system that was there is like, maybe it's not exactly perfect, but it's the best one that we got at the moment. So it's like I got to work with it. But it was a shift when I said, okay, I got to work with it, and I really tried to really push my time in that and really try to make that excellent. I probably could have achieved a lot more. I feel like, you know, there's always like, I could have balanced this better, could have balanced that better. But I sacrificed, I think, a lot of my ambitions. Like I just said, I want to do this, I want to do that, and then I kind of was like, well, school is really important, or this is really important, and I just sacrificed that ambition, or I just said, I'm just a school kid kind of thing. Like I'm not gonna do anything too grand. I'm just gonna, you know, not touch that almost. And I don't know if that's about balancing, or whether that's just about that confidence or whatever in that time. I'm not too sure, but like,
what kind of ambitions are we talking?
Like, what's coming to my memory is a very a distinct video where I was just like wanting to location scout or something like that. I was just so silly, but I made this video of I walked and I trekked up this creek to this train bridge or whatever to see if it was going to be like a cool like location or something like that, because I wanted to do this like little tiny short film or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I made this little video while I was there. I was like, hey guys, I'm out here location scouting for a short film that I want to make. And I was like, in this school holiday, I want to do 2 films. And then I like set these like goals reminders, and then like it just never happened. It never happened. And I was like, I don't know like what it was. I just didn't follow through. It just didn't happen. I remember like months later looking back on that video, I was like, really, Nathan? It's like, you said you were going to do all that and you never did. And it's like, not like absolutely kicking myself, but it's just like, I wish I could have.
Right. So you actually did turn it the other way, and you sacrificed a little bit of the time to spend in creativity to focus on the academics.
Yeah, there was a little bit of that,
which is respectable.
And I'm not gonna say I spent, you know, hours and hours and hours and hours of study each week, but there was a little bit of that, but there also was a lot of like maybe just follow through that was lacking there. But
interesting.
Yeah.
I sort of took the opposite approach.
Okay.
At the beginning of the year, I sort of, our family, we sort of sit down and we talk about like goals for the year and things we wanted to do. And I had 2 sort of major goals.
Right.
One of them I haven't hit yet, but it's coming. And
is that a private goal?
No, it's not. I wanted to make a short film. I haven't made the short film.
Okay.
But I wanted to put a band in for this like local competition, Battle of the Bands, and I wanted to make this short film. And so there were 2 of my goals, and I also wanted, like, I had school and stuff, but I looked at my trajectory, and I sort of like talked to my parents, and they're like, I was sort of like, because my dad's a principal, so he's not. He loves his education.
Yeah.
So which is good. It's awesome, and I
hope so.
I'm really they're so good, and they really opened doors. It's amazing to have amazing parents. Anyway,
yeah, true.
From that, I sort of took that directory, and I was sort of like, you know what, I actually want to do these things. I see the benefits of like, so in a lot of it was like a lot of team building. There was things that I saw were more beneficial in this than school, and I was like to my parents, I was like, I love you lots. I know you want me to do the very best I can, but I really want to pursue this. And we talked about it, and we found a middle ground. But I'm also one of those guys who's like, I really, in my heart and soul, I have to do my best. Like it's like, there's no point doing it if it's not going to be your best.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it sort of drives you crazy because you're trying to do 6 things, but all of them have to be the best thing. Like, you know, like the original question was, what have you sort of sacrificed and stuff? And I guess for me, this term was crazy for me. Like this is when it really
QCS.
It was like it was the performance for the battle. It was
it's huge.
All of my assessments were this term, and so I was like, I had a part-time job at the time, and I was like, I'm not gonna do it. So like it would have given me like a bit of money, whatever. But I had sort of put in some time later before that allowed me to do that, and for me that was really worth it.
Yeah,
because you got to let something go. You can't just hold on to everything.
Did you guys find that you had plenty of recreational time, or at least currently, or
too much? I had way too much.
No, not really.
At the time, like in school,
it's really interesting.
I don't know. I feel like a lot, like when I'm talking about the follow through, right? When I'm talking about having the plans and not doing it. That I think that maybe is a personality thing. Is that I
100%.
can just be like, oh nah, and then I just don't even make a move on it. It's like I'll say it. It's like, yeah, you'll talk, mate. No bite. So I think there's definitely been things where it's like, oh no, I'm actually going to do this, and then I like actually do it and bang it out,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But I feel like there was the bit of like, I was like prioritizing school, and that was maybe I don't know, maybe 40% or something like that. But then the rest was like, no, you just slack, mate.
Hey, there's no right or wrong.
But
it's all experience.
I enjoyed myself. Like
that's
I felt
important.
like
You can't.
being able to like catch up with mates and things like that.
Yeah.
Being able to go out to the beach and
As
all
long
that
as
sort of stuff. Yeah.
I'm sure you guys are both felt relatively fulfilled about the way that you approach high school. It's it's not about regret or anything. I'm just interested to hear your perspective because, like I said, you're both wired differently.
Yeah.
You're both, yeah.
Like I sort of like it's a bad habit of mine. I just like, man. Sometimes I think, oh yeah, I'm working hard, but I'm not actually working that hard. But anyway, but like I sort of have to. Like I'm wired that like I can't like I really struggle to like just sit down and like just recreate. Like sometimes I just need to keep going and going and going, and it's not a good habit. So a good balance there is
Yeah, I can never go too long without not doing anything.
Yeah.
So I just get so frustrated with myself. Like, oh, come on, you got to do something. And I wouldn't be fulfilled. Like, too much recreation, then you're not working, you're not growing.
Yeah.
And I can see that in myself. And it's
There's no right or wrong. It's a self-awareness thing. We say this on just about everyone who will probably come on and talk about it to some degree. It'll always talk about self-awareness because
for sure.
like you said, like we were saying here, everyone's wired differently. Like I relate to a bit of how Jesse thinks because that's just how I'm wired. Like I tend to not, for the most part, it's like you said, I sometimes see downtime as a waste of time. Truth is it's not. But
you need
to
it.
view it that way. It's hearing people have other perspective about it, very important. But having said that, both of you guys have done very amazing things creatively, interestingly, with different approaches, different personalities. Yet you have done it. What would you say to some of the people who might be listening and are still in school and have this creative inclination and they want to try something but they want to wait to finish school to attempt it? Like, do you have any advice or anything that you'd like to tell them now about what they should possibly do with it?
This is me, and I'm a big yes guy. So if you have a creative itch, I would scratch it. I would get in there and get it done. It's just for me personally. I was talking to a pastor. I'm like, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with my life, and his response was like straight up, everything. Do he's like grade 11 and 12. Like you've got school and you do have to focus, but you need to try and you need to do and you need to, because that's how you know. So like if you've got a creative itch and you want to, you always find your middle ground. Put your priorities where they need to be and stick to them. But there's 24 hours in a day, and if you look at the amount of time you're spending on like social media, like there's many things that you could actually cut, and like if you even being intentional about it. So it's like sometimes you can be like. So like even with your schoolwork, if you intentionally spend an hour wanting to achieve something, you're going to be way more successful if you just sit down and like just
what do I do now?
like intentional practice, intentional anything. But if you've got a creative itch, just get out there, try everything, because the best thing you'll find is you don't like it, or you'll find you love it. But there's no way to know that you don't like it, you love it, unless you do it.
Have there been examples for either of you to date that you could say there's things I've tried that I don't want to do anymore?
It's interesting because we're on a Brown Fox Media House interview, but film is one of those things you mean. It's crazy. So I've done lots of videos, like even here on the old Brown Fox, and I loved it, and I've loved the fact that I got to do it, that I was doing film, and what I found from it is I don't like it. So I sort of had like, I felt like I was right at it, but you know, there was no way for me to have known that if I didn't do it. And if I didn't know that, and then say like, if I didn't know that before I graduated, and then I went to like, because I was planning to go Griffith Film School, do all this stuff, and it would have been, I would have sort of set myself up for failure because I didn't know I didn't.
You
want it.
didn't explore whether this was, actually viable. Like if you didn't explore that, you would be in a completely different spot to where you probably needed to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How did you reach that point? Like, what did you go through?
Doing.
Yeah, what did you do?
What did I do? Well, I did.
Because some people might be like, does that mean that I attempt something once, twice,
Sorry.
3 times,
Yeah.
4 times? Like, what does it mean?
So I've done a lot. I guess I'd say I've done a lot of stuff. So because I thought so we did film as a class.
Yep.
One of our subjects was film, and so I started
I
off.
wish
with,
we had that at heart. So.
Oh man,
That would have been so good.
film is a really Mrs. Cook. She's the best teacher. So
Wow.
we have shout out Mrs. Cook. So in our film we sort of started making short films, and so I made like some short films. But from that I've done heaps of work with like Joe. If you shout out to Brown Fox Weddings.
Yes.
So there's
Yeah,
like
boy.
He is the second shooter on most of these and the primary one
Yeah, boy.
on some of
Yeah.
them. So excellent work, Jesse.
Oh, thanks,
stuff,
sir.
brother.
Yeah.
So I would have done and I've done some of my own weddings. So not my own wedding, but like
I recorded my own one.
that's not under Brown Fox. So like maybe I've done like 4 or 5 weddings.
That is solid.
I've shot
It's solid.
like multiple short films, and then I've also went out to businesses and like done like business commercials for them. And it's interesting because it's like I did like say like some of those things, and it's only like in the later parts
Right.
where I found I didn't want to do it. So it's not like you can't just like try it and then muck up your first one and be like, oh, not going to go and do it.
Yeah.
But you got to like actually put in some hours, put in some shifts, and then if you come to that point and you don't do it anymore, it's sort of like there's always going to be like a lump, and you're going to get to that lump, and you're either going to go like, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over. Is it something you've said? Maybe.
Very similar to the book The Dip
But yeah.
by Seth Godin. Yes, exactly.
No,
You
that's
hit
cool.
that dip in anything, and it takes. That's the answer. The answer is get to the dip and find it. Do I want to cross it? Do I want to turn around? And like I said before, I was going to bring this back to Nathan because you've had an experience this year of something that you've kind of hit a bit of a dip in. And how can you tell us about what your university experience has been in your first year out of school?
Yeah. So after graduating, it was my plan probably 3 years before I graduated. It's like, oh, yep, I'm going to go and study film. Like that's what I'm doing.
Yep.
Love it. Awesome. That was my plan. That was like what my heart was set on. So go through school. I'd like to think that I tried my very best and I did what I could. There's probably some areas which I could definitely improve on, but I'm happy with how much effort I put in and what I did there. And I feel like my heart definitely was in my studies. But unfortunately, I didn't get what I expected with my OP result, and I had I was pretty upset that I couldn't get into the course that I wanted to, and I was like, that's just all I've been looking forward to in previous years of school. But like, oh, why am I here? I should be going and studying film. What is this? It's like you're just holding me back from my dreams and my aspirations. It's like you don't care about me. No, I wasn't going that hard, but I felt it's like it's just like another setback. It's just like another thing that's going to stop me from being where I want to be. And, after being, talked to by my loved ones and Georgia as well, she cracked me down and said, you need to stop thinking like that. And I was like, that's right. That's fair enough. And I just had a piece about like, hey, my path is going to be my path. So I was like, oh, I'll do a year of uni and then, switch over into the film course.
So you didn't get into a film course.
So I didn't get in the film course, but I had a sufficient OP for a photography course.
Nice.
It's a bit of a funny course. They kind of spread in a bunch of fine art stuff as well, which I'm not too hot about. But it was like sculpting and print book making. I really like print book making. Like I made like this little zine thing, but that's besides the point. But it was really cool. And after kind of just going through it, and I was doing well. I was getting good marks. Like I was formulating some like decent enough work, but it didn't have the purpose. Like it wasn't linked to anything.
Sure.
It was just like, sure I can like create creative ideas and it's like you can bring something out and it's like that's it, but it wasn't linked to anything that was within me or a direction for my future. And I was just like, if I want to do film, it's like why am I why am I here? Why am I investing into this?
Right.
It's like, and having conversations and hearing people is like relationships. Like that's what business, that's what, growing in just having work is relationships and like working with people. And like, I feel like I didn't need an institution. I feel like I needed a person or like a group of people around me who were a step ahead or, who were doing it. And then I could learn off and help provide value to them as well. But it came to that spot and I like hadn't done anything for like 6 months, like creatively, maybe recorded a song or two, like doing music, like on my computer. But I haven't had that outlet, and I was just like, what am I doing? And that's when I was like, okay, I soul searched for a month, spoke with my parents, spoke with people a bit, and I resigned from uni and worked for a little bit. And I was like, okay, what's my actions plan? And that's when I kind of said, hey, Joe, can we catch up? It's like, I just want, just to talk, some advice maybe about, my direction and things like that. And, here we are, and I'm starting to meet some different people. I'm starting to see what my options are. I'm like a whole range of things has opened up. Like doing this podcast has given me a lot of excitement for just ideas and talking with people and relationships and all that sort of stuff. But it took that download to be like, oh, well, it's like things kind of calm down and I can look around and be like, well, what am I doing? It's like, where is my direction?
So you weren't afraid to ask for a bit of help?
No, I wasn't. I think there was maybe a little bit. I was like, oh, I don't want to waste this guy's time. Like, look, he's like, he's doing awesome. But like, I was like, oh, hey man, you don't want to just chat? And then like, I think I said to you when we were having coffee, it's like, I was happy if I could just walk away with some like decent advice, and I would have been over the moon. But it's led to something even greater than that, which is so cool.
Reaching out to people is like one of the single underutilized things in the world,
especially by young people. It's crazy. I feel like the opportunities that I could have had in Rocky, if I just reached out a little bit more. Like I did reach out a little bit, and I was like working with people in the film industry there. But yeah,
here's the thing though. There's a difference between reaching out genuinely and also people who instantly want to get something.
Yeah. And
you can sniff that a mile away. Anyone who's, who's sensitive to that kind of stuff can pick it up real quick. If you get a DM saying, I want to get some work for my portfolio, or I would love to do something free for you so I can get something. If you read, people can read generally if you have an ulterior motive, but if you're honestly open to growing and just say, hey, I'm an open book. What, have you had experience in this?
Feedback. If you want to get good or better or anything at anything, get some feedback. Like, so you got to reach out. You got to find people, and you got to find people who are better than you and who are nice enough. It's funny. It's nice enough to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's a funny principle because often there's a lot of people who go around and they never ask for feedback, and they sort of do their work, and then they show their mum, and their mum says, "Oh, it looks good," and then
that's nice,
and they don't accept anything else. But if you want to get good, if you want to get better, you can't just like sort of leave it at a level. You need to like really extend your arm, show people your work, and get feedback, get more like, oh man. So Joseph, he's given me some feedback, like just in everything. But it's been awesome. Like nearly every single creative thing I produced, every single creative thing I have produced has been like done over by him. So I was really blessed that he was in my life. That I remember showing my first film. I think I should actually showed it to Josh, and I thought it was the best thing ever in the whole world.
You always do, eh?
Oh, it was so good. And he's like, oh yeah, and I was like,
I'm sorry, what?
I think,
where's my Oscar?
did you watch a different thing?
Did you not get it? Do you want me to explain it?
It's like exactly
when you have to explain your work, that's never a good sign.
But but from there, I kept going and getting feedback, and it makes you better. Because you're always putting forward your best, but you don't know everything.
Yeah.
And there's some stuff you don't know, and the only way to find out is to open yourself, is to reach out, is to extend. You know.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we were just having a chat with the powerhouse pastor at Hillsong just today, just an hour ago. And he said that very valuable thing that stuck in my head about creating a feedback culture. If you actually just open yourself up to saying, hey, is it okay if you give me feedback from 0 to 10 at any point in time about anything? And the same the other way around, vice versa. It gives that permission without having, so it's not like out of nowhere, suddenly you're super harsh about someone and they receive it really, like that was, that hurt me. Rather than that, actually from the get-go saying, hey, can we create this culture where we're open?
Having said that, keep in mind who you're getting your feedback from.
100%.
So like, there'll be no point me getting feedback from some rando who doesn't know anything. Like you could see, like, for me, I could see Joseph and I could see like Josh's work, and I could see its high quality, and I could actually look at them and look at their lives and be like, you know what? If I was like that in 5 years, I'd be over the moon. You know, and so I got feedback from there. You don't. So go to if you're looking for feedback, go to sources that are high quality that you can trust. Yeah. Because also you don't want like people sort of correcting your life who actually aren't very good at life.
Yeah, I think
like
they say. Sorry to interrupt, but they say it a lot in the Scaling Creative podcast. It's like, don't take advice from someone you wouldn't trade places with in life.
Right.
Yeah, that's like, so good. That's
right.
It's like. If someone's making videos and their videos aren't that great, or they're not doing so well, it's like if they're not doing well, it's like, don't take advice from them.
With that being said, if all the people around you are like you wouldn't want to trade places with anyone around you, then you need to start reaching out, start expanding. I think in the previous podcast, you're talking about like 33%. Like you got to have each and every zone. You want to have people ahead of you that you'd want, that if they switch places, you'd be happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Input and output. Sure. Like once again, I think we talked about just an hour ago in lunch, having sufficient input to be able to pass it on as well. I think it's unfair for anyone to just keep receiving without giving. It's unfair, I think. And it's also one of the most fulfilling things anyone can do. I think tapping back into what you guys are saying, how when you reach out to people, you actually are surprised generally at the response, because most people, if they're in a position, like you said, where you trade places with them, most people are looking for opportunities to invest back in someone. You actually don't know that. And just like saying, being able to open up to anyone and ask them about an opportunity, you don't know until you ask.
Yeah.
You don't know. You just, for all the young'uns, all of the ones who are just finishing school, I think if that is the theme of this podcast, is just ask. Yeah. Don't be scared to ask for help.
Yeah. Ask, try, do. And because other things is like, if you ask the question and you get say you even ask the question, you get the no, that's awesome. Because I used to work at Red Rooster, right? And there was this concept where
I've spent a lot at Red Rooster. Don't look at my Red Royalty up. Anyway,
Platinum.
Platinum member.
So like in the suggestive selling, they were talking about like, don't be afraid when someone says no to suggestive selling. Be grateful, because that's you're one closer to the sale. So it's like it's the thing that leads to if they say no. It's the thing that leads to the thing. If the theme's to do, I did the film, so I know that it's going to be the thing that's going to lead to the next, But if you don't do anything,
there's nothing to jump on. There's no next stone in the river to jump across. Yeah.
So
that's cool.
How you said you lead yourself to thing, say no to this, and it opens up another door. For both of you, and we'll start with Jesse. This is just off the cuff. Where do you see yourself now in 5 years from now? Where would you like to see yourself?
Where would I like to see myself?
As someone who's just finishing school and is about to hit what people refer to as the real world. Although you can make everyone's in the real world, but regardless, anyway.
5 years, I would love to know that. I'm at a real point in my life where I don't actually know where I'm going. I'm keen for the future, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So where I'd like to see myself, where I would So where I'd like to see myself, I can't give it a location, a job or anything because I don't know.
That's okay.
But I just hope I'd like to see myself in a position where I am grown. I'm growing in things and I'm doing it at a high level, keeping high standards in not just in my work, but in health, in friendship. You want to keep all areas of your life really to a good level. And I'd like to be investing into others. So that I've got that principle that in 5 years' time, I've grown exponentially in so many areas and I've built skills and I've developed myself and I'm really strong in these areas and now I'm passing that back on.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. See,
That's cool.
I feel like I should have said this right back at the start, but for anyone who's still listening at this point and is wondering, what's Jesse's background and whatnot, because I've known you personally now for a number of years, but you are probably in my mind, in my life, the single most high capacity person at your age that I've ever known.
Thank you.
That's not something I could just give out. This guy he's got an entrepreneurial spirit. You've had multiple jobs at the same time. You've had a drum business you still run, getting drum lessons. You give lessons to people in youth and teach them music, even of instruments you might not have necessarily have played. You just next level, man. And at the same time as that, doing amazing things in school, getting awesome results, getting extremely high results in your film. Is this public knowledge yet?
Sort of, yeah.
You had a VHA 10
VHA
film.
10, yeah.
That's awesome.
Extremely
That is so
commendable.
good.
Yeah.
That is so good.
And you've been a amazing part of the church ministry that I've been in, and I wouldn't. Yeah, it's not random that you want you here talking about this stuff because I think you're a role model for people who are coming up behind you.
Thank you, lot.
So
Absolutely, man.
yeah, that's why I was asking, because even in that answer there, it's a very mature answer for someone your age, because most people at your age would go, I don't know. To even be able to think about it that way. And that's not dissing. I'm just saying it's a generalization. If you ask most people, including probably myself, I guess I had it. Nah, okay, sorry. Probably I did have an idea, but it was not the idea I'm thinking of now. It was in engineering, which that's my story. But very good. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. And even that you've been able to assess and even do those things to an excellent standard. It's like, even if people, even if you're not doing film work or you're not trying to promote that, people can see that you've done excellence in that, and that translates to that's your character, right? It's and that translates to what you're going to do next.
Thanks.
Dude, that's awesome, bro. And it's a
really
good thing to
appreciate
continue.
Yeah.
And it's I think that's definitely a gift, bro.
Thanks, man.
Cultivate that.
Thank you, lots.
Cultivate that.
And I think if we're talking about this, I hate to keep going around the same point, but so I'll move on. But it's like I promise I will. But if we're talking about how to have any of these answers, to have any of these responses, you need to do it.
Yeah.
You there's no way you can know anything if you don't do anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Theory and execution completely different. And
Absolutely.
You've already both of you have already bypassed or have already done the single greatest hack to entering university, which is most people go into university and go, I'll try this to find out if I want to do it at the end of my degree. Rather than that, you just jumped in and said, do I want to, and tried it now. You found the opportunity. Well, it's I wish I did this in engineering, but the single quickest way to do it is, what if I spend a week or a month in an engineer's office with them?
Yeah, and see if
if I liked it.
Yeah.
People don't know this, but you know how everyone has grade 10 experience, grade 10 work experience. But I didn't know it. But you don't actually just have to have that week.
You can do. You keep on doing it.
If you talk to your school, they'll hook you up anywhere.
Do anything if
Yeah,
you really want it.
Absolutely.
Get the experience. If you want to do it, find someone doing it. Follow.
I did a week of experience at Ergon Energy as an engineering work experience student, and I hated it. Yet somehow I still thought it would. Anyway,
It's
see,
okay.
you learn. With life, you learn. But as any advice for anyone who's still in university, figuring out if they want to do it when they're finished, find someone, sit in their office with them for a week, a month, and actually find out before you finish that degree. Anyway, So, Nathan, what about yourself? Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
5 years from now, wow, it's like, I think it's very much in the same vein as what Jesse said. I think how I kind of try to like, it's like, oh wow, well Nathan, you got to formulate your vision for your life. What's your direction? You know, it's like it's huge. I think in 5 years time, like I want to be in a position where the foundations are set for the legacy of my life.
Oof.
And not even just it's not. It's like I want to make the Nathan Hutcheon name great. It's like it's not that. It's
Right.
It's to be able to. The legacy is that feed like that give and that take.
Yep.
It's like I want to be able to learn from people, and I want to be able to be someone that people can learn from to uplift them.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want my family to be. That's what if I have kids, my sons and daughters, I want them to be that. I want them to embody what that is. So I want to be in a position where I've done sufficient work for that to springboard off of. Because I mean, if I want work to be great in the long term, I need to build the foundations, build the skills, build the competency, build the, even just like emotional, like intelligence, all that sort of stuff. That's now, right. So that legacy can stand. Yeah, and even like as a Christian for the glory of God. So awesome. It's not something that I'm going to build. So something that's going to be built from me. It's like I'm just here wanting, something good to come out of what I'll do, and I'll lay down anything for that to happen.
Love it.
Yes. But I think in 5 years, that's where the position I want to be, just in life, in myself, as a person, as a man.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be a man, not a boy then, but
a man.
You're already men, both of you.
Cheers. Peter Pan never grows old.
That was
he was the lead actor in the Peter Pan musical.
Never grow up. Never grow up.
I was a pirate. I died 3 times.
That's right.
I don't know how that happened.
That was
script writing.
These guys are both very talented. Honestly, thank you for sharing that, guys. Honestly, I'm feeling very just happy to hear your perspectives on these things, and cool. I can't wait to share this with our audience and for them to hear your heart a little bit better. I think you can only see so much from the outside, but to be able to sit down, chat about it, this is where it gets to the real stuff. But before we close, I want to hit you guys with a couple of quick lightning round questions. So we'll go Jesse and then we'll go Nathan at a time. So number 1, what is your favorite piece of gear that you currently own?
GH4.
What's that?
That's a camera. That was your camera.
Ooh, it was. Gave him the leftovers.
Bro, I'm taking it.
Here's the table just scraps.
He's made a cake from the crumbs, man.
Yeah, made a cake.
GH4 is such a great camera.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Great to start.
Even the stuff that you were showing us today, I was like, dude, that's solid.
That's all GH4. So
that's so good.
GH4, easy as you like.
What gear do I? I think just my LED panel. Just having something that's small, just to be able to, because lighting is a lot,
Yeah, I love it. I love having
your lens is just the thing that tunnels the light. Your sensor is just the thing that captures the light. So light is the stuff.
I've never looked at it that way. That is so smart.
Am I allowed to say this?
Sure.
That's lit. No, don't worry. I just thought this was a younger demographic podcast. Maybe it's...
Yeah. That's not cool anymore. No, I'm joking.
Oh, yeah? Oh, man. I just like... we just tangented this real hard.
Sorry. But yeah, my light.
Got it. Favorite social media platform right now?
Instagram. But I need to get off it because sometimes I just sort of sit and like just scroll.
Explore?
Yeah. I'm just, oh man.
I didn't know the Explore page existed.
Actually?
Well, you guys don't need to find out. Just don't touch the Explore.
I know what it was, but I didn't know what it was.
Rubbish. Get those Instagram editions.
It's actually good. It's actually a good habit to not go exploring. Just find who you need and then follow, but don't go exploring because if you just get lost. Anyway.
Yeah, I'd have to say Instagram. I use Instagram the most. Like I don't spend a lot of time on social media. I rarely spend time on social media, and it's usually all just me watching videos on YouTube, basically.
There you go.
I watched a video about ants the other day. It was really interesting.
Is YouTube social media?
Oh, it's more of a search
It's
engine.
more.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. The next question is that, but actually, it's interesting. 4 out of 4 so far. Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. But favorite creator on YouTube/Instagram currently, or TikTok? Actually, no, I don't know any TikTok, so don't go there.
It's really interesting. I'm sort of in a strange zone. So like I'm sort of exploring heaps of random things.
Okay.
So one guy I'm really into right now
Yeah.
is Adam Neely, and he is a jazz bass player.
Wow.
That's so cool.
No, that's awesome.
He really explores like musical concepts, like really crazy time signatures and everything. It's really good. But like when I was in film, had to be Peter McKinnon. Mate, he is putting out some banging content. It's like I just love like
I swear that's
learning.
how Bangers came out because of him.
Oh man,
He
The
pushed
word
it. He pushed that
bangers.
hard.
can I put just one?
Yeah, you
thing?
can plug another.
Oh no, I'm not plugging another. Just if you want to get, you know, how we're talking about get good at anything, do a second to that is become, what's the word? Like be a self-driven learner. You don't need to wait for someone to give you the answers or someone to show you how to do something. In this day and age with YouTube, with like, oh man, you can just the whole world is at your fingertips. You can do like.
But make sure you practice what you consume as well,
Yes,
because you
yes.
can have this bank and then things just get backlogged and like lost. But you gotta get it, and then you gotta regurgitate it out into something.
Yeah.
Even if it's rubbish the first time, you got to get it into practice, because that's when it solidifies into how you do things.
YouTube University, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, 1000%.
So good. I'm not too sure if you would classify it as I don't think it's really a creator. He's more of like an interviewer. He just interviews people.
Oh, it's his channel?
Yeah, it is a YouTube channel. But it's called Special Books by Special Kids. And it's this American guy. He goes around and he actually interviews children with disabilities.
Wow.
And it's this really like vulnerable and like really wholesome just environment, this whole channel, just in how he interacts with people. He's originally like a special needs teacher.
There you
But
go.
it's just has been so enlightening, and I feel like my compassion for people has just grown. And not to even be like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's like, no, they can have life and life abundantly. And it's like I see kids on there, and I see their stories, and they're happy. They're so joyful.
That's amazing.
And it's like, and there's some people who've come from really like harsh background. There was this one boy who was born blind, and
Yeah.
I think it was China, and his mother left him on a bridge. And he was old enough to remember this.
Wow.
And when he was adopted into his forever home, which is his adopted home, but they call it forever home,
That's nice.
he would push everyone away because he didn't want to be rejected again. And it's now like seeing his progression and seeing like just that people need love, and like understanding like I guess that a bit more, and understanding specifically how to give those sorts of people love. Like it's been so informative, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's just so awesome. And I think it's something that, you know, everyone should learn a bit more about, because it's kind of this. It's not it's not something that you think about every single day, but it's
being aware of.
Yeah, and
it's good.
being able to grow in your compassion. I think it's been really awesome to follow what they do.
It's a
And
good one.
They
I'll
put
have to
stuff
check it out.
every single week. They pump it out. It's awesome.
I feel like you're answering the next one too.
Oh,
But the next, but it's really good. The next one was going to be what, I guess, book/channel/podcast, something along those lines. Would you recommend to someone the most right now? It's not like, would that be the one?
yeah, that would be the one. I would encourage people to go Special Books by Special Kids. It's really informative. Come with an open heart. Come with an open mind. And just really, really just embrace who these people are. It's not just children there. There's, you know, adults who are struggling as well, who are you know, going through those challenges. But yeah, I would really encourage people to go that. It's like really, really cool, really, really rewarding to be able to learn more. Yeah,
Awesome.
Was it like podcasts like that you listen to and stuff like that?
There's a smirk on your face. Do you have an answer for this?
Well, there's this one bloke I know. He's got this fantastic podcast. All the episodes I've seen
Here we go.
so far, like previously, have been pretty fantastic. So I'd check out Mr. Brown Fox Media House.
Mister.
The Brown Fox Media House team, they seem to run a nice show, run a nice little podcast.
Oh, thanks. We give everyone water.
Does it
and
make
coffees.
sense to plug the show that the people are watching?
I guess.
Because they're already here, right? It's kind of like a loophole.
Podcastception.
It's like the very end, so we don't even know.
Just plug the next one.
The next one's
stay
gonna be
tuned
good.
for the next one. Like, comment, and subscribe. So, what's your most important to you passion right now?
Creative passion right now would be music.
Yeah, creative passion.
Oh, creative passion right now, music.
Cool. Let's call it creative passion then to narrow it down a little bit.
Yeah. No, well, yeah. I've been really wanting to do a bit more stuff with my hands, so building stuff.
You've done a couple of DIY.
Yeah, I love doing DIY.
projects.
I want to do like a pallet crate, like
Jesse.
like pyramid for our firewood. But yeah, I want to do more stuff with.
It's
stuff
amazing.
with my
Jesse's
hands.
a big outdoors DIY man.
Oh man, I don't even know.
The most.
How does I hammer?
How does a hammer?
I can't.
You see
outside,
physics. It just
Can I play it? Oh man.
oh god, you can just.
Oh, you guys are hilarious.
Yes.
All right. If you had unlimited time and money right now, what's one crazy idea, project, holiday that you'd want to do, go on right now?
I saw on Flight Center. I was really,
I said unlimited.
unlimited.
On a budget. If we're
Unlimited
speaking
budget.
on a budget, right?
Sorry, everything I see is on a budget. I'm on a budget everywhere, man.
If it's hold on. If I only use a little bit of the unlimited, then I'll have more unlimited.
Oh, that's
Think about it.
firstly have the time to build. To build myself up. So like I know like how like for me, I'm like really revolved around the music. Like to have like lots of musical knowledge and lots, especially in like a worship sense. And then from there, if we're talking like travel, I'd love to travel the world and like just really output that. So I spend a bit of time like going and then like going to different churches and like just like sort of setting them up so that they setting some leaders up so that they can go ahead and do the same thing, and just so you can just sort of up level like one thing I'm passionate about like church worship and like high level church worship. I think anything under the Christian banner never needs to be mediocre. You know, so I think I'd be passionate about that. Just go ahead.
So good. So good.
I think it's kind of smaller, but I would like to make a documentary.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, I'd like to be able to follow a story. I don't know what that would be. That I'd need to do a bit of research for what stories would be to tell, but just a long form, like over a fair few years, and not have to worry about paying my bills.
Yeah,
Oh,
that would be the best. That would be the best way to do it. Just complete freedom to.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get there in 5 years.
Hey,
we'll see how we
who
go.
knows?
I actually want to do, on a side note, want to get into some short documentary stuff for
That'd be sweet.
clients, but we'll cover that on another podcast. And the last thing, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
I think for me, the best piece of advice I've ever received probably occurred today from the room with Nathan and Josh. And I think it's probably you are most effective. You are at your best when you're the healthiest. Like, so I think being healthy, so it's going to sound real weird, but it's like I think the best piece of advice you could give yourself is be really healthy. So that's in like every
all round
every facet. Like
Yeah.
I know myself, like I need to be more healthy, especially in like a physical sense, like eating choices, diet choices, exercise choices. That so your mental space is better. Like if you're properly rested, you're better, and you can better grow yourself. You can better put into others. Everything your relationship with others is better if you're healthy. If you have a healthy spiritual life, a healthy physical life, like a healthy work ethic. If everything in your life is healthy and balanced, sort of bit of Thanos action, If every balance is all things should be.
I just loved this. What was that?
Sorry, it's like how he has like the little thing that he balances on his finger with like Gamora.
The knife thing.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
This is the
Okay.
bowling.
But like, I think being healthy in every area is the best piece of advice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's cool. I feel as though the best piece of advice is not to rely on my own strength, but
Yep.
and I guess in a two-dimensional sense that might sound different to what you're saying, but I think what it is not to rely on who you are now.
Yeah.
It's because maybe who you are now isn't necessarily sufficient for the future. It's like so learn, take on. You're relying on what you're bringing in.
Yep.
You're relying upon grace to move forward. You're relying on a lot of thing you're relying on people who will give you knowledge. So not beating yourself up for who you are now. Accepting that and not necessarily saying that, oh, it's okay and that's fine, you can stay exactly where you are. It's like, it's like no, you move forward, but not beating for yourself up for who you are now to the point where you can't move forward into what's next for you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So good, guys. Thank you for joining us today.
It's been an honor.
Thank you for being on the other side of the table today.
It's okay.
Nathan. It's been awesome to hear a little bit of your story.
Oh, yeah.
And Jesse, can't wait to
So good,
see
man.
what you do in the next couple of years.
You do great things, bro.
We'll have to get you back on in 5 years. Before then.
I'm keen.
And keep you accountable to your word.
No, but awesome. Thank you so much. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching along on today's episode of the Brown Fox Podcast. We'd love to hear some of your feedback, so feel free to leave some comments down below. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'd love for you to like it and subscribe to the channel as well. And until next time, we hope you all have a fantastic day. Fox is out.
I didn't know that was coming.